If you want to make the jump from taking pictures for fun to getting paid as a photographer, chances are you'll start by shooting small businesses. I'm about to show you a proven formula that you can replicate on any photo shoot with any business. I promise you, it's so much easier than you think, and it will take the pressure off immensely on shoot day. By the end of this video, you will confidently be able to walk into any business and ask them to give you money. Think of your client's business like a film. And in this film, they are the star, and it's pretty difficult to tell their story using only one angle. So you need to start thinking about your shoot as a whole and how the images will work in with one another. Wides. Start with establishing shots. Set the scene and show your viewer the space. We need to place our characters in context of the environment to give the viewer some background. We want to show all the best parts of our scene while hiding the worst. For most businesses, you don't want it to look empty, so try and find creative ways to fill gaps and make your scene feel more lively. As a general rule, start with a focal length of somewhere between 16 to 35 millimeters for these shots. A little bit of movement here is great, otherwise a subject interacting with a person or object looks pretty good too. Tights. This is our main angle. Find some smaller pieces or stations of the room to set up an action. I like to think of this as a medium to tightly cropped image. We're essentially just zooming in on the most interesting parts of our scene from our establishing shots. I like my tight shots to have the subject at work. In this case, it's going to be our barber at the chair actually running through a trim. This is likely where your subject is going to be the most comfortable as they're in their element and focusing on their work. It's such an easy win and is a great way to get a non-model used to you being in their space with a camera. Details. Okay, we've set the scene and we've introduced our main characters. Let's make your audience really smell, feel, and taste the image. Detail shots in this case are going to be the small elements that give meaning to a bigger picture. On their own, they might not seem like much, but used together, they become all the little pieces we need to guide our viewer through the story. I like to focus on specific tools, textures, or motions. In this case, I'm going to shoot the shears, clipping little bits of hair, the clippers laid out on the table, the interesting sneakers that the barbers are wearing, all the little ingredients that together will provide a lot of flavor for our dish. Now we've set our scene, introduced our hero, and added a bit of texture. What we need next is a good poster so people will be interested to come and watch the movie. I like to leave the portraits until the end. By this stage, your subject will feel more comfortable with you, and a little bit of rapport goes a long way here. Now, personally, I prefer a slightly wider portrait. I still want there to be some context to the environment, but this shot should feel separate to the action or tight shots that we got earlier. Available light is totally fine too, but a really easy way to make this look awesome is to underexpose the ambient light a little bit and then light them back up with a flash. Ideally, a good portrait will have a subject that is a bit brighter than their background to really make them stand out. Try and shoot both sides of the person so they can pick the angle that they like, and make sure you get some shots of them looking off camera also. I find people are generally more comfortable that way and will often choose those shots out of a gallery of images. Keep up a constant stream of chatter and make sure you're giving direction every handful of shots. It really doesn't matter what you ask them to do, you just need to make your client feel like you're taking responsibility for making the image look great. Once you see something you like, pause and then ask them to repeat that action. Easy as that. Now we've got all the ingredients we need for our dish. So here's how we're going to add a little bit of extra seasoning or, garnish to take that final product to an elite level. Firstly, add flavor with light. If you want your scene to look and feel cinematic, you should almost never just light your picture straight on. Here I have this little speed light through a softbox, and you'll notice in this video, I've lit almost every picture so far from the side or the back. This isn't about flooding our image with light, it's about shaping or accenting our scene. Sometimes a little bit of rim light or side light can give a real three-dimensional look and feel to your shots. And the best part is it usually doesn't feel lit whatsoever. Again, to pull this off, you'll want to underexpose the ambience slightly to have a bit more control over the room. You can always brighten it back up in post. If you're interested in the equipment that I'm using specifically, I put links to everything down in the description below. Always try and get a mix of shots where possible, but more and more I find myself shooting in vertical mode on the camera. It's annoying and often a bit harder to get a composition that you really like, but most of the time the final image will be viewed on a mobile device. Vertical images in this case will fill a screen more and display in a higher resolution on Instagram and most other platforms. For the most part, you should be aiming for a 4:5 vertical crop in your image, but it's also important to keep in mind a 9:16 for something like a TikTok or an Instagram story. It's small details like this that will make all the difference for your clients and set your images apart from other photographers. Let's talk about the full experience. The photography is important, but to be honest, the average person doesn't understand or even need to understand the technical skill that goes into a shoot like this. And if we're being honest, they're not even going to see your images until days or weeks later, but they will remember what it was like to work with you on the day, and that is what's going to get you rebooked. While you're on set, be sincere and genuine, learn everyone's name, and make sure you're using their names during the photo shoot. This alone will make your clients feel like they're getting looked after. Be very mindful of customers too. Most people, believe it or not, don't like surprise photo shoots, so make sure that anyone around is okay with being in the photos. Lastly, be efficient and don't let things drag out for too long. After a few minutes of continuous posing or smiling, your subject will fatigue and your images will get increasingly worse. Get what you need, but don't torture anyone for longer than necessary. Another really important point, when the shoot is finished, don't make your client wait a month for these images. In most cases, everyone will be on quite a high after the shoot and eager to see the final product. But that goes away the longer you wait. I really like to sort my pictures on the same day and send through 5 to 10 of your best shots with just a quick edit to say thank you. It's a really nice way to round out a great shoot and make your client even more eager to get their hands on the full album. If you like the look of the images that you've seen in this video, they were all edited with my Big Pants Universal Pack. I highly encourage you to make your own preset or find one that you like from another creator. It will revolutionize your workflow and, most importantly, give your images a consistent look and feel that will make you look even more competent and professional. It will save you literally hundreds of hours over time. Okay, let's sum it all up now in 10 seconds. Wides, tights, details, portraits, shoot lots of vertical, be a great hang, and don't make the client wait too long. Congratulations, you've learned something today. Now it's time to go out there and get that money.